is in the house, and tonight we're looking at the U.S. Africa Leaders Summit. But before we begin, just to intro them to you, once again, Ian Bogo, a lot of you are asking about his beautiful, lovely blue jacket. He'll be telling you about it later on. Yeah, looking dapper. And of course, Carol Odero, she's here with us, as is the case every Saturday, editor, Drum Magazine, fashion columnist. Robert Burale in pink, like I am, but we didn't plan to wear pink. Image consultant, motivational speaker, and of course Annabelle, fashion stylist, also with us here in studio. And she's been nominated for an award. She'll be telling you about it. Yeah. So let's begin with what was happening this week. But before we go to the U.S. Africa Leaders Summit, we're looking at Nairobi Senator Mike Sonko. Of course, very colorful in his dressing. This is a more formal Mike Sonko. This is a more formal look on him, but then again, his signature bling. Let me start with you, Annabelle. Suited up, you know, elegant, but then again, the signature bling.
Yeah, I mean,
what's your take?
Yeah, I mean, this is we haven't seen him look this clean and neat in a long time. So I think it looks, for him, I think it looks quite good. I like his fade. I like the hair.
Yeah.
The posing, I think, is what always, like, he's too much of a poser for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Robert?
Looks very neat. I just wish he could take someone's advice and remove all those rings.
Yeah.
Just have one. But he looks very, very nice. I wish you could keep this look a little bit more. Yeah.
Looks nice, according to Bob. But the rings, Carol, have Kenyans finally embraced that this is who our senator is, rings and all, gets the job done. So please, no focus on the bling.
Well, look, I mean, it's Sonko. At least he's not wearing a gold chain underneath the shirt.
He is.
Not like a really large, you know, like hip-hop
okay.
kind of bling. So, I mean, he's toned it down from what he's worn before. And I actually remember that I dared him to actually look this good. And, well, it looks like he pulled it off. I actually didn't think it was possible.
Yeah,
so,
and for guys that like to have the little gold peeking out of their suits and what have you, you know, dressed down Fridays perhaps, or at a cocktail after work, is that acceptable? Just that little peak of gold?
I don't know. I tend to find it looking a bit pimpy. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Carol doesn't miss her words. And finally, Ian, this look, what does it do for you?
Trousers hemmed just a bit more. Yes.
Okay. Otherwise, you have come
Lose
to
the
accept
rings,
that the bling is
that
in.
is nice.
Lose the rings. I don't think the rings will be going anywhere.
Yeah, the rings are staying. I think that's for sure. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to DC, see what was happening there. This is President Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, and the first couple of the U.S., that's Obama and Michelle, President Barack Obama and his First Lady. So, Uhuru and Barack have, President Uhuru and President Barack Obama have an almost similar look, and this created fodder for talk earlier in the week. Let me start with you, Bob. What's your take?
I think President Kenyatta has aced it. He looks amazingly good. And even his non-verbal communication, if you look at his shoulder, is almost in front of, it is in front of Obama's, isn't it? So he's telling the guy, I know who I am.
I brought it.
Yes, I brought the A game here.
Yeah.
That's what the body language says.
Okay.
The suit is brilliant, well-fitting. Obama's suit looks like it was somewhere folded in a cupboard and then he just put it on. It looks a bit untidy. Actually, President Uhuru Kenyatta looks like the most powerful man in the world.
Wow. Annabelle, do you agree?
I completely agree, Bob. Like, I think our president really brought it. He looks great. The suit is perfection. It fits him perfectly. It looks expensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, Mr. Obama, like, I don't know, it also looks like maybe it was ruined in the laundry. That happens a lot sometimes. But with Michelle also, even though I don't love her choice, she's always a style star, her jewelry is impeccable, and that's a Kenyan designer actually called Penny Winter.
Awesome.
So that's something to note.
Great, great. Annabelle, the First Lady, I think we all agree that our president really did that suit justice. The First Lady, her choice of dress. This was for dinner. What do you think?
Oh, you call me.
Oh, Carol. Sorry.
You call me.
I'm looking at Carol.
Compared to all the other first ladies, I actually think that she underdressed for this event. It was a dinner. I've seen her in much more elegant outfits for other events in other parts of the world. I'm not impressed at all by what she chose to wear. I love the color. It flatters the complexion, but it's not the right dress.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to what was happening next. And of course, this was a trender earlier this week. I mean, all of you were just blown away by not only the height, but just the beauty of Paul Kagame's daughter, Ange Kagame. That's the president of Rwanda. Ian, let me start with you.
Absolutely gorgeous. And to think that she's only, what, 21?
21.
Yes.
21.
Yes.
Beautiful. You don't even see the other three people there. You're just drawn to her.
Yeah. For ladies with height, Carol, white as an option, how did she pull, I mean, for you, what is this look communicating, just for a lady with her height, and of course standing next to Michelle Obama, who is quite tall as well, 6 feet tall and above. What do you think?
Well, there is a point where if you're 6 feet tall, you just pretty much have to accept it.
Yeah.
So you just, whatever you wear, you just make it work with you. And in this case, it works with her proportion because of her broad shoulders, the cut of the upper bodies, and the way that it fits her hips. It actually works perfectly. And even the hemming of the dress is perfect. So everything about the look actually flatters her body and her height.
Okay. Yeah. Bob, I want to hear your views on this.
This is a lady who understands what beauty, elegance, and respect is, all rolled into one. She looks amazingly beautiful, sexy, if I may say that, and also decent, that she knows she's among powerful people. So she has pulled it all out in one dress.
Yeah. Annabelle, for that dress, the fabric on the dress, for a lot of women, sometimes it will show the cellulite. So how do you pull off that look and sort of just maintain that elegance and not get things clinging in the wrong places?
Yeah, she's done it pretty well. I mean, I think a regular woman would probably wear Spanx to sort of, you know, suck it all in and make it all smooth. Yeah. She looks great. She's an Amazonian beauty. And I like the way that she's made, the styling is really simple to counter the fact that she's so tall. Yes. The only thing I would change is I think the hemline is a tiny little bit short. And I think she should have added some bigger earrings maybe, just to fill in that space.
Okay, great. Okay. And let's move on. And next is Tanzanian President Jakaya Kikwete and his wife Salma Kikwete. Of course, you know, what we've seen previously is a bit of a we're not seeing a lot of African displays in terms of dressing. You know, we're seeing a lot of just modern, I think, dinner dressing. So, Annabelle, let's begin with the First Lady. I think, yeah, Jakaya pretty much is in the typical president suit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he looks good too, I have to admit. He looks good. It seems like everyone looks good next to Obama on this evening. Yeah.
True.
But, I mean, her outfit, I think it looks very funereal. Like
Yes,
it's very
yes.
sort of...
That's exactly what I thought. Who's
It's a Debbie
funeral?
Downer. Yeah, I think it wasn't appropriate for the occasion because it's just too solemn, I think. And it was a happy occasion, I think.
Yes. She's Muslim though, Ian. So...
Yeah, but she doesn't have to dress like an old woman at a funeral.
Ouch.
Okay.
Yes. I
So-
mean, our ambassador is a Muslim, and she dresses in bright colors.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so this not quite
Not-
getting a nod.
no,
Carol,
no,
you
no,
agree?
Well, I think, again, black can be a powerful color at the right occasion. But in this instance, she's African. She comes from Tanzania. It's a very bubbly kind of culture, very vibrant. And I just feel she should have selected something that represented the spirit of Tanzania, and this is not it.
And Tanzania has so many of those kitenges and what have you, bright colored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, so why choose black?
Yeah, okay. And next is the King of Swaziland, King Mswati III, and his queen. And this is her name, Nkosikazi Lombikiza.
Number?
Which number?
I don't know what number. So this is dramatic.
Yeah.
He looks terrible.
Oh, okay.
No, he looks.
Ian, let me hear from Ian.
Look, he's a young man. He's relatively young compared to the way he looks. But right now he looks, and he's really put on so much weight. Sorry, he looks bad.
He looks
So he makes
awkward.
Obama look good in this one?
He does make Obama
Yeah.
look good.
Wow.
No, he
Okay.
looks awkward in the suit because of the fit and the cut. It doesn't flatter him, and because he's also South African, I would have actually expected something more of, you know, the kind of clothing that they would wear, something celebratorial or ceremonial. This suit doesn't work for that look. It just doesn't flatter him.
Okay,
Yeah.
moving away from Mswati, King Mswati, to his Queen Annabelle. The gown, is it a hot mess or or is it appropriate?
I think it's a hot mess.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a hot mess. I mean, I don't know. It just looks, there's a lot happening. There's the lace, there's the overlay, and then there's the green, and then there's some kind of a sash.
Yeah.
And then there's a neck piece. And then there's many layers. And I just don't like the dress. It's
Yeah.
a black tie dress, clearly. I just don't, there's nothing good.
There-
It's like
there are
one
too
of
many
those old
trends.
dresses in Western movies.
No, but there are too many trends in one
Yeah,
dress.
it looks like a
Yes.
West-
Yeah, it actually
like
does,
a
yeah.
vintage.
Vintage,
Yeah, it's
Maybe it's
Western
supposed to be
movies,
vintage.
Vintage, not in a good way.
not in
Yeah.
a good way.
Okay, so what should she have lost, Annabelle?
Everything.
Yeah, Ian, no, you go ahead, Ian.
Everything.
Ian knows what's up today. Like maybe.
There's not a single
Yeah.
thing she's worn there that is
She could have kept the color.
worth a queen.
No, she could have
an
kept the color.
African queen.
No, the color is fine. The color is perfect. But like I said, there are too many trends. The sash, the layers, the sheer, the neck piece. It's too many trends at the same time.
I
So
think
just one. Just stick to one and keep it simple.
And let me ask you, Bob, Michelle Obama's body language, almost not, I think, I mean, this is what I think it's almost stiff.
She's very, very stiff.
Yeah.
Extremely. I think maybe this was the 20th photo they were taking, but still, her body language is not right. And the
Could it have
queen-
something to do with the dress?
Yes, and the no, I don't think so.
The
I
dress
think,
next to
I
her.
think whether
I'm asking.
and if you look at
Yeah,
it,
what are you wearing?
and the queen is trying too much to move towards her. I think she's feeling uncomfortable. And look at her husband. The king looks totally like someone who's not even a president, who maybe is
He's a king.
No, but there's nothing kingly about him, to be honest
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
So she's trying
regal.
to, the queen is trying too much to be close to Michelle. And Michelle is saying, please keep your distance.
Yeah.
That's what's
Yeah,
happening.
honestly, that's
Yes,
how
that's
it
what she's
looks.
saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is, wow, this is a colorful one. And my pals from Cameroon are always talking about their first lady, Chantal Biya. And she's known the world over. She's posed with Paris Hilton. Previously, of course, with Michelle Obama as well. She always steals the show. Very colorful.
I mean, she's lighter than Paris, right?
Yes, that's Cameroonian President Paul, but she's Molito as well. So that's Cameroonian President Paul Biya and First Lady Chantal Biya. So let me begin with a hot pink. Since we're in pink, let me start.
Oh, yeah.
I love pink, so yeah, be nice, Bob.
Oh no, she's brought her A game. I mean, she's taken everybody to the cleaners. In fact, even
Really?
her husband. Yeah, oh, totally, from top to bottom. In fact, even her body language is like, you know what? I know you're all concentrating on me, because if you look at it, she's not trying too hard. Obama is trying too hard. Of course, Michelle has tried so hard; it's like a rock. The president is like, you know what? Enjoy my beauty. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
But she's brought her A game.
Annabelle, what do you think of Chantal Biya's look?
I mean, her name is Chantal.
Chantal,
What
yeah.
a diva. Like, what a perfect name for her.
Yes, French.
I think, like, she's so over the top that she's come full circle and she's great. You know,
Totally.
there's something about her. I mean, in this sort of all pink ensemble, it is a little Pepto-Bismol overwhelming, but there's something about her that I really like. I don't know what it is. It's just, I think she's so confident and so elegant and
X
so over
factor.
the top. I love that
Yeah.
she doesn't shy and she just is herself.
And for the first time we saw something African, Carol. I think this is African. It's just I think embellished, but it is African print, I would assume. I think I may be wrong.
Well, it does look definitely African, and she's always had an affinity for that kind of design, you know. And even her hair, that's normally so flamboyant, she didn't cover it all up. She still let it shine. And there is a way that as a woman, if you're in the presence of power, if you wear pink, sometimes it can make you look too fluffy and people don't take you seriously. And maybe that's why Jakaya's, Kikweto's wife, decided to wear black.
Yeah.
But in this case, because everybody knows what she's like, everybody knows her fashion sense and her fabulosity, she can pull it off.
Okay.
But it is not a color that I would recommend for a lot of women in power. Pink is definitely not something you want to choose unless you are innately powerful and you constantly make people aware of it.
Yeah. Ian, just as we close on this particular image, the President, Paul Biya...
Terrible. That jacket is 2 sizes too large. The whole suit is too big for him. And maybe the trousers just 1 size, but the jacket is maybe 2 or 3 sizes too big.
Yeah.
Terrible.
4 sizes big.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably maybe they went shopping together with Obama, like you guys. Yeah, so moving on is, of course, who's next? Yes, this is the President of Gambia. And wow, this is different from what we've seen before. Ian, this is President Jammeh of Gambia and his first lady.
Love it, love it, love it.
Okay.
An African president wearing their garb.
Okay.
Yes. Together with staff and everything.
Okay.
Perfect.
Carol?
Well,
the staff, really, isn't that? I mean, honestly.
No, actually, it might sound excessive, but considering what he's wearing, it fits perfectly. And remember, Moi used to have his rungu, and there is a way you can use it to symbolize power, and it completes your look, and it becomes your brand. And I know that the wife looks a bit underestimated here. She's just completely disappeared, but I like that they synchronize the black and the white, and she has a bit of white to show that they're actually a couple. Though this is an instance where the man actually overshadows the woman. Yeah.
So this is a win, Annabelle. Do you like it?
I think the couples, because he came so well turned out and he looks so incredible and he's so sort of the epitome of what I guess people would expect at this kind of occasion. I feel like his wife should have matched him a little bit, actually. I think she should have complimented him by also going African. I think she looks completely under, she's, is that his wife, his daughter, his assistant? Like, what's her role here?
Yeah.
But I noticed that there is a balance. If one goes African, the other one goes Western, then there is a balance in terms of how they're dressed. Because if they would both go African, imagine if she dressed in something like Chantal, it would be a little too over the top. So one of them actually needed to balance it. I still feel that this is...
I think she should have gone African.
It could be African, it's just that the fabric doesn't necessarily look African.
Yeah, I don't like
They
that.
should have gone all out.
Well, Annabelle doesn't like it. Carol doesn't mind it. Fine. Okay, cool. So next is Guinea. President Alpha Conte of Guinea and the First Lady of Guinea. Again, Robert. Let's start with the First Lady. What do you think? This is different as well?
Different and not good.
Different and not
there's
good.
too much,
Not
as Annabelle
good.
would
Why?
say, there's too much going on there. She's too busy, and even the hubby looks like maybe he's just going to first year campus because he looks a bit scared. You understand? Of course, he still looks, anybody today on that day looked better than Obama. Anyway, but the First Lady, it's too busy. It's she'd have gone maybe purple or black with just some little of another color, but she's trying too much, too hard, and there's a lot of confusion there.
Yeah. Annabelle, of course, there's a lot of pressure on a lot of these First Ladies to bring it and to just wear something that would stand out. So looking at this outfit, obviously a lot of work went into it. I mean, she didn't just get up and just put it on. What do you think?
I mean, I think this kind of, attending this kind of occasion is obviously overwhelming on from a sartorial perspective.
Yeah.
And I think the take-home lesson here is less is more. Like, keep it simple. Don't panic and do everything, you know? See, like, the Rwandese lady we just saw.
Yeah.
How sort of, very simple, and yet she brought it home, right?
Yeah, totally.
So less is more.
Okay, less is more. That's Annabelle's take. Ian, what do you think about this?
Too much. He's not dressed really well, and she has far too much going on. Okay. This is probably the worst couple.
Ish.
Okay. Okay. Carol?
Well, there is usually a particular age that by the time a woman becomes a First Lady, she tends to be in. So she's probably usually in her 40s. So there is a way that she's used to dressing before that she probably has to completely change when she becomes a First Lady. And a lot of them don't have that guidance. They don't have someone to tell them this is how you should dress. And they tend to prefer something that looks so covered up and busy like this. that tends to be the more generic trend. So perhaps, you know, like Annabelle says, keep it simple, but also get help, because this is an event that is transmitted all across the globe, and people will be looking at you and critiquing it, and they'll be judging the president based on what the First Lady is wearing.
Okay.
So just get some help.
So there was a lot of images to look at, but what my producers and I noticed is that there was not a lot of African outfits or fabric displayed out there. Ian, what's your take home? This is the U.S. Africa Leaders Summit.
Yes,
so
they should really have tried to put in more African outfits. Get their own designers. Each of them should have worn something.
Yeah.
Either the, you know, even if it's not both of them, at least one of them wears a dress or an outfit from a designer of the country. I mean, they're representing Africa.
yes, that's true. Robert, what's your take home? Just again, seeing that these are African leaders in the U.S., not really displaying a lot of their Africanness in terms of their dressing, save for a few.
Of course, we do understand that President Obama is the most powerful man in the world. But I think what they should have done is also say we are coming here in our capacity as a president of my respective country. And like what this guy did, Gambian president, he went there at par with Obama because he was carrying full authority from his country. I think the others tried too hard to almost non-verbally tell him, we know you're bigger and more powerful than us. And that's what was going on.
Yeah,
really.
and Annabelle, just, you know, the African print can sometimes look like the circuses in town.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because this was a formal dinner. So how best to pull that off? Particularly, I mean, looking at what we're seeing there, that doesn't have too much going on. There's not too much print going on. It's just white, elegant, but it's African.
Yeah.
So how to pull a look off, such an African look off in a formal dinner?
Yeah, the president here is spot on, the way he's gone monochromatic. So even though the African, you know, African clothes are layered, there's a hat, there's an accessory, by going monochrome, just one color, he simplified it and just made it look so simple and, you know, neat and perfect. And I think the women should have taken the same route, and there are other ways to represent Kenya, Africa. It's not just through necessarily what you wear, but even just accessorizing like Michelle Obama has done. I think that's a really great nod to Kenya, of which, you know, she's somehow affiliated with.
Great. Okay, your best dressed Carol as we close
Ooh,
of what we've seen.
I would have
Let's start with the women.
well, for the women, I'd have to go with Chantal.
Okay.
Primarily because she represented her own personality. And for the men, I'd go with Uhuru. But just to add to that, for me, I think that what the First Ladies are wearing is representative of what the culture is like in where they come from. How do their citizens appreciate fashion? Because if you're willing to do that and you can come out wearing it boldly and freely, then it also shows how your people think of fashion. And if it is something that is constant and you do it and it's free and it's easier for you, then you can actually represent it on a world platform.
Okay, best dressed very quickly as we close. Ian, just one word.
White.
White.
Chantal and the Gambia.
Okay, for you?
For the ladies? Kagame's
Daughter?
Oh, yes, she's Chantal.
Chantal.
No,
she's
that's
not.
no,
That's Ange.
Ange.
That's
Yeah.
Ange.
Oh, that's the
Sorry,
best.
Ange,
Without-
yes.
Ange, okay, for
By
you
a
as
mile,
well,
yeah.
Ange, okay. And for you, Annabelle?
For me, the president of Gambia really killed it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the white, very elegant, very, very elegant, again, out there. So let's take a look at tweets. Do we have any tweets? Yes, we do. Right. There we go. Loving the show. Looking good, guys, as always. Fashion Watch. Thanks, OJ. I like the look our president had this time round. He won. I wonder who dressed him. Eric Mtal. Thank you. Mtol. Okay. Joy Mai. Paul Kagame's daughter is so elegant. I like her look. That's Joy. And finally, Chantal is the bomb. Her mane, okay, steals the show. Yeah, she usually has that big hair, and her style is always posh and extravagant. She wins. Awesome. Okay. Thank you. Let's keep the conversation going. Send in your style-related questions. The hashtag is Fashion Watch. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week. Good night.